The Taxi with Tammy podcast was created to inform and educate taxpayers on the overly convoluted, complicated, complex, and straight-up confusing tax law. On this platform, I break down the tax code in the most relatable, rudimentary form by using real-life situations. The tax code is voluminous, and I don't know it in its entirety, nor do I want to. With that being said, there may be times where I'm incorrect or simply don't know. Judge me if you like, I'm still going to do my thing. This taxi isn't for everyone, but for those it is for, sip and enjoy. Sincerely, your girl, Tammy M. Hey guys, it's your girl Taxi Tammy, and I'm coming to you with some taxi today, and today's tea is going to ruffle some feathers, but I'm all good with that. You already know what it is. It's going to ruffle some feathers, and we're going to call it, but did you do your research? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So, as you guys know, I am in the tax audit and resolution field. I'm not necessarily in the tax preparation field. I rarely prepare current tax returns, but I do prepare back tax, let's say late filed tax returns, because that generally is a part of the tax audit and resolution service. Okay, cool, boom. So a lot of times when I get clients with collection issues, their collection issues obviously come from filed tax returns that have already been filed. And sometimes the clients come to me completely confused on where this tax liability came from, and my job is to explain to them where the tax liability came from, let them know what measures can be taken to correct the tax liability, whether it's an installment agreement, an amended return. There's just a ton of options. If you guys have this issue, you know where to reach me, www.taxauditresolution.com. Okay, that's that. So, like I was saying, I get clients who come in, they are completely confused on where this new tax liability came from, how it got there, they didn't do anything to change their return, so on and so forth. So as soon as we get into an engagement, I review their tax return, I review the transcripts, and I see a lot of the times that credits were taken away. Now, during COVID, how should I say this? Recently, what I've been seeing is during COVID, a lot of credits were given to us, right? Well, not given to us, but available to us. We had the Family Sick Leave Act, the 7202, the Schedule H. We had what is that called? We had the $300. My goodness, why am I drawing a blank? During COVID, there were additional credits that were available to us, to include the 7202, the $300 contribution, Schedule H, what else? Other things. The list goes on. We were able to take cars at 100%. The list goes on. There were quite a few credits that were available to us that, certain type of taxpayers that put up a green light for them to do funny things on people's tax returns. Now, people, I need you to understand this and listen to me when I tell you this. I'm not saying this to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm saying this because it's the real, and that's that. I'm saying this because we need to be held responsible as individuals for our own decisions. Now, it is our responsibility as taxpayers to review our tax returns before we sign an 8879 and authorize our tax preparer to send off our tax returns. I need us all to keep it real with ourselves. If you are somebody who does not normally receive a refund or a big refund, or if your refund in this particular year, as you went to this particular tax preparer because Everybody bigged up this tax preparer because they was getting you back a huge refund. And you just so happened to try it out. And now you're getting back a huge refund that you wouldn't normally get. SMH, y'all can't even see me. SMH, shaking my head. I need you to hold yourself accountable for not reviewing your tax return, making plans for that money that you saw was a refund before you got it, and getting upset with the tax preparer when you actually get a letter to owe that tax money back. That's it. Look left, look right, shake my head. I said what I said. Now, these tax preparers, I'm not going to say all tax preparers, but these tax preparers are working off of a payment that comes from your tax return. So being that this payment comes from your tax return, and we're going to take morale and ethics out of this, being that this payment comes from your tax return, and a lot of these tax preparers are able to coerce you to get a higher refund so then they can get a higher fee from your tax return. Y'all feeling me? Like, I know I'm going off grid and I kind of jump right into the tea, but it's just frustrating. It's frustrating. Can't even say the damn word. It's frustrating for me to see and for me to hear. If you're not used to getting a big refund, you went to this person who is known to give out big refunds, and you accepted the refund, you signed that $88.79, honey, you are responsible when the IRS comes after you to pay that money back. Because you were responsible to review that tax return. You were responsible to make sure that the information on the tax return was real and true before it was sent out. You signed an $88.79 or whatever other authorization form authorizing this individual to send off your tax return because you agree that the information on the tax return is real and true. So if you're not used to getting big refunds and you got a big refund and you done made plans for that money before that money even hit, how is it that you turn and look at the tax preparer, you cry crocodile tears when this money is due back to the IRS because the information that was placed on that tax return, you cannot validate to the IRS when they give you a letter of verification to show that this stuff is real and true, whether it's an audit letter, whether it's a CP 2000. Y'all, this is for another day. CP 2000 and audits are not the same. They seem like they're the same, but they're not the same. Whether it's a letter of verification to verify yourself, to verify the children on the tax return. You knew that your niece second removed from your auntie's side was not with you 6 months or more out of the year for you to take care of. You knew that. With you knowing that means that you knew that you were not going to be able to prove that. Which means when they removed that child from the tax return after issuing you a refund, you're going to have to pay that money back. But you done blew that money because you went to tell them Mexico and had plans for that money before that money even hit. So please, when y'all calling me, understand that you are not necessarily going to get the most understanding tax Tammy. You are not going to get the Tammy that's like, oh, I am so sorry this happened to you. I cannot believe that this preparer did this. You're not going to get that. Because I'm probably one of the people who understand what happened, but I understand that you understood what happened at that moment in time too. If you guys know me personally, you know my story. You know where I come from. You know that I prepared tax returns for a moment in time. And you know how creative I was at that moment in time, which made me switch up my game and join the IRS. I'm not going to get into that any further, but if you know me, you know. So that's just one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is, because I'm not going to let the tax preparers get off scot-free. I'm not going to let y'all do that. Because y'all got to be held responsible as well. I'm not saying that you need to sit up there and inform the person, hey, what we're doing is wrong. It's fraudulent and it's a crime. But sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. No, I'm not telling you to do that either. What I'm telling you is not to do it at all. There's way too much money in this tax game and way too many ways to make money instead of making it off the back of individuals who are going to suffer afterwards. They're going to suffer afterwards. And it's not fair because you got your money up front. Yes, you signed the tax return, but you know at the end of the day, they're held responsible to pay that money back. And it's not fair. These people don't have the money to start with. And money, unfortunately, the love of money is the root to all evil. So when they see that number, going up, their eyes get bigger. Their plans get bigger. They're thinking about the different things that they can do. Screw the people that are taking the trip to Tulum. Let's talk about the people that are paying their rent. Let's talk about the people that are paying their child daycare. Let's talk about the people that are putting food on the table for their families. Let's talk about those people. People that are in a hard space, between a rock and a hard space, and that extra money is what they're depending on once a year to get them out of their situation. It's not fair, y'all. Y'all as tax preparers need to really open your eyes and have a heart. Have a heart for the individuals that are really dependent on this money, and then when they get this letter or when they get this tax liability saying they got to pay this money back, baby, they didn't even have the money to pay you for the tax return. What makes you think they got the money to pay you back? I'm not talking about the ones buying their Rolex for the first time. I'm not talking about the ones that's going on vacation. I'm talking about the ones that's literally putting food on the table for their children. I've been there. And that's why I'm in the position that I'm in now. Because I feel like I hurt so many people going back. Once I started working for the IRS and I saw how audits go, I saw how collections go, I saw how putting on your credit, I saw how people are literally harassed by the IRS and a lot of them not having the knowledge or understanding of why. And it was because the preparer did have the knowledge and understanding of why, but the preparer got their money up front. The preparer is off scot-free. Because I'm going to tell you right now, those complaints that the taxpayers make, or those cases that are built against tax preparers who do this to individuals, take a long time to catch up to them, and not everybody gets caught. Not everybody gets caught. And it's not fair to the individual. Now, I'm not saying the taxpayer isn't at fault too, because they know they don't get that type of money. You know you don't get that type of money. So with you knowing that you don't get that type of money and you're getting that type of money at that moment in time, you need to take a step back and think about the consequences. Yes, some people get away with it, others do not. The IRS is in between a rock and a hard place. They owe billions and trillions of dollars in debt. So at this point in time, Joe Biden already let y'all know he's building his tax army and he's getting his money back. So understand, they're coming with these letters and they are stripping y'all of these credits for the simple fact that they're incorrect, number one. Number two, the IRS, the government, is the biggest collection agency. The IRS is the collection agency for the United States of America. So with that being said, they make their bread off the back of us, taxpayers. So they're going to go hard to make sure that the collections are in place and that they are receiving the money back. Can you imagine doing this to a single mother, single father, whatever? Single mother, single father coming to the office during COVID. Yeah, I got my 2 kids at home. A mother passed away. And, I'm just trying to make ends meet. I want to get my tax return so then I could provide my kids with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Cool. Here go a tax preparer. Light bulb goes off in the tax preparer's head. I could get you this amount of money back. Single father, know he's in a hard place. You think that's not enticing to him? And the fact that a lot of y'all play off of his struggling situation is a problem for me. I'm going to just keep it 100 with y'all. And I know this podcast is going all over the place because there are a range of emotions happening right now, but it's a problem for me. Tax preparers that take advantage of a person in that type of situation, y'all a problem for me. because you're putting a person that's already in a situation, in a deeper situation, for your own personal greed. And greed is an ugly, 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 ugly trait. It is hideous. And no, not everybody wears it as their face, but I promise you, it's gonna come to light. So fix up. Do this thing with some dignity. Literally, I tell people this all the time. Tax preparers are God's chosen people. We are here to help the public. And don't get me wrong, y'all, I had my time. And if you know my story, and if you know me personally, you know I had my time. I'm not no better than anybody when it comes to this tax preparation game. I promise you I'm not. I was taught how to do it better than most of y'all. Not playing in little credits. What is that? But I'm telling y'all, at the end of the day, like, how y'all sleep at night? I'm really confused on how y'all sleep at night doing this to somebody who this isn't credit card fraud where they can go to the bank and dispute it and get their money back. No. They now have a tax liability that they have to pay back. And I understand. Trust me, they received the money. I just think the same way. Oh, but they received the money. They knew that money wasn't theirs. Yes, they received the money. They knew that. I'm not talking about those people. I'm not talking about those people that you're in cahoots with. I'm not talking about the people where y'all both have, the same frame of mind going into this tax preparation. I'm not talking about those people. Those people deserve whatever they got. I'm talking about the people that come in there that are already in a rough space, who have no idea, who haven't been through this before, and y'all see a door and you open it for them, and they have no clue what's going on. I mean, we got tax preparers that are so good that they'll coerce them into thinking that they have businesses just because they sold a freaking, they sold a piece of clothing on Facebook. Oh, you have a business now. And then get creative with that. That's a problem for me. I'm going to need y'all to straighten up. And I'm going to need y'all to do your job properly. Because it's hurting people out here. I don't know how many people I've had on the phone crying, I don't have this money, I don't have this money, I don't have this money. People who literally did not have the knowledge and the understanding of tax preparation. And y'all know who it is. When that person sits down in your chair, you know whether they are going to be in cahoots with you or if they are going to, or if they truly don't understand what's going on. You can tell. I've been a tax preparer before. So I'm telling y'all, straighten up, bro. Because you're hurting people out there. And they don't have nowhere to turn. The crocodile tears that be on my phone, I know when they real and I know when they fake. I know when they were in cahoots and I know when they are truly innocent. But even with their innocence, there's really nothing I can do other than sit around and try to help them get on an installment agreement, file an amended return, so on and so forth. People are scared enough of the IRS just because of what they can do. They're scared of the IRS when they receive the first letter. Don't put these people in situations where they have a real reason to be afraid of the IRS, and it's because of ignorance. Again, I'm not talking about those people that you could be in cahoots with. That's between you, them, and God. I don't care. But those people that come to your table, come to your office ignorant, those people that that are in a situation and you decide that, this is what I could do for you. I'm talking about them. Y'all gotta do better. And for all those people that are in cahoots, bro, I don't feel no type of way for you. I really don't feel no type of way for you. Because it is like playing with the IRS is literally playing with your livelihood. They're gonna get their money one way or another. So you knew what you was doing when you sat down in that chair. You knew what extra money you had, and you knew what you was doing with the money before it even came in. I don't feel bad for you, so go figure it out, honestly. And when you get on my phone and you start with the crocodile tears, like I said, I already know. I can tell when you were in cahoots from the beginning. And those that try to start with the argument, I can't believe this and I'm going to report this and I'm going to report that. Make sure you report yourself as well. Make sure that when you're telling your story to the IRS, that you report yourself as well. And you let them know what part you played in this. But yeah, that's my rant for today. I think I went like 20 minutes of just ranting and raving because I'm tired, y'all. And I'll probably do another one about these influencers on Instagram, on social media, just because they have 1 million followers, just because they end up on Hollywood Unlocked Shade Room and it's on site, or $1 million worth of game, does not mean that they are legit. It doesn't. It does not mean that they are legit. It does not mean that what they're doing is legit. It does not mean that their tax gems, quote unquote, that they're dropping are legit. Do y'all research. Did you do your research? Did you take your time to look into what is being suggested to you? Did you get a second opinion? Did it sound right to begin with? You guys as tax preparers have a responsibility in anything that you sign, whether it's tax preparation, whether it's a contract. If you read the fine print, it is not going to hold the tax preparer, tax professional, EA, CPA, whoever you're working with, responsible for what is going on. It is going to hold you responsible. You can write your reports, you can write your sad stories. They're not always looked into. So make sure y'all doing your research, but did you even check first? Did you even do your research? Did you look up this person's credentials? We're going to get into who these influencers are in another. We'll get into who these influencers are in another podcast episode. And some of the quote unquote gems they be talking. But I'm telling you, even those people need to be checked. Because a lot of the information that they're giving out is fraud. And unfortunately, during COVID, a lot of our people were preying on our people. And when I say our people, y'all already know the backside of the hand. Our people were preying on our people to make money off of our people, off of fraudulent advice. But again, I'm going to get into that another day. That's all I got for you today. I'm done venting, ranting, and raving. But did you do your research? Sip tea wisely. I'm out. It's Tax Tea with Tammy, baby.